if you saw the last video, you'll understand why I'm wearing a mask. Because this deck is just contagious. First, guys, we are gonna play 3 copies of the scariest monster in the deck. One of the scariest monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh itself. Once Lair is on the field and you summon Lilith, everybody and their mother is shooting bricks. This card, oh my god, this card is just so dangerous. Oh my god, 3 copies. If we could have played 6, we'd have been playing 6 copies of Lilith. Unfortunately, due to Konami hating on us, we gotta play 3. So what this card basically does, it just allows us to tribute any dark monster, including itself, and it's a quick effect. With Lair on the field, all monsters are dark monsters. So everybody is our food. And what's best, it allows us, guys, it allows us to select 3 trap cards, normal trap cards from our deck, and our opponent randomly selects one to set on our field. So it's a plus. So we negging the opponent, then we spitting in their face after by getting a free trap card on our field. Yeah, man, talk about spicy. This guy's spicy written. Oh my goodness. Next, we play 3 copies of our Searcher, 3 copies, my apologies, 3 copies of Arima, the Wicked Warden. Yeah, his past job, he used to be a warden, something like that. Yeah, in the Animal Kingdom. This card allows you to search the most dangerous fields card in the game. Maybe I'm just being I don't know. The card is just that scary. Like, your opponent definitely needs to move Lair of Darkness on the field, or you've already won this duel. 80% of the chance you've already won this duel. So this card has 2 effects. One, discard it from your hand, you get to search Lair of Darkness. Or the second effect, if you tribute a dark monster, you can either draw a card, or if you tribute a dark monster which was not this guy, you can search a dark monster with 2000 or more defense from your deck. And we do have options. So you can either draw, or you can choose to search. Now, the spicy combo of this, if you do happen to tribute one of your monsters, and you do end up searching your Diablos, you can special summon your Diablos, whether the monster Diablos wasn't on at the time or not. Kind of like work like how Multi-Faker works. Trap card, it wasn't even in your hand when the trap card was activated, but it still goes through. Yeah, that's super spicy. And this card, man, this is a real boss monster. This card cannot be targeted. You know how irritating monsters with effects that cannot be targeted are? But there's more. The fact that it can special summon itself. That's 1, if a monster is tributed on your side of the field. 2, it does have the effect to tribute a dark monster, which you can tribute itself, or you can tribute one of your opponent's monsters if Lair's on the field, to have them either place a card from their hand on top of the deck or the bottom. In other words, you're negging your opponent once. So aside from spitting your opponent's face multiple times with all our effects, and there's a spicy loop with this card and Lilith, which we'll discuss a little later when we get to the trap cards. You know, so we have a 3K beater that cannot be targeted and tributed, and it can special summon itself by simply one of your monsters being tributed. Like, yeah, special summon, like come on, it's ridiculous. Alright, next bad boy on the list, and this is our Searcher, and this is a spicy piece. And when we get to the trap card, you're gonna understand a little more. We play 1 copy of Scam. Yeah, we playing Bunny's the Beast. Because, man, once this card gets to the graveyard during your end phase, we can add Lilith to your hand. You can either add Lilith to your hand or Alice. Unfortunately, in real life, I don't have Alice. So what I'm playing, I think I did get this comment. One person asked, if you know Alice, what can you substitute? My substitution for Alice is Token Collector. And I think I did showcase this in the flexing video where Meta didn't stand a chance. Now, this is a win-win. So if your local is swarming with Sword Souls, this is a plus ultra. Because this card in itself, every turn when your Lair of Darkness effect activates end phase, it produces token collector. This guy collects token. That's what it does. You're gonna special summon this guy every turn a token is special summon, whether it's in your hand and whether it's in the graveyard. Now, what's also spicy about this is we do have a way to search it. We do have a way to get it to the graveyard, that is. Easy. And every turn, this guy can special summon. And what's also great about this, it has 2000 defense points, guys. 2000 defense points. And you're gonna know how relevant this 2000 defense points when we get to the trap card, how important it is. But this card, come on. it works with your engine, and if you do Sword Souls, or especially now everybody doing the Auradon combos, oh my goodness. What? No, dude. The Auradon combos. Flexing. Right, let's move on to the Magic Cards. We play 3 of the best, maybe, might this be the best field card in the game? I don't know. Whenever I'm playing this deck, everybody wants to get this card off the field. Why would you think? Why would you think? Why? Like, this card reminds me of a One Piece character. I don't know if you guys watch One Piece. Big shout out to Law. When he activates his room, he's in control of everything. When Lair of Darkness is on the field, guys, we can do anything. Your opponent fears summoning monster. This also works so flexy with one of the continuous floodgates in the deck. Well, it's a floodgates, obviously it's continuous. But Lair of Darkness, this card is so broken. Yes, you know, when you have a deck, you love it, you call it broken. It has to give the opponent a handicap. Alright? The card activates every end phase, whether or not a monster is distributed, just to allow the opponent a chance, you know. All right, go ahead. You can destroy me now. You can negate my effect. You know, just in case. And this is what you call flexing, guys. Lair of Darkness and Lilith is one of the scariest 2-punch combos in Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. This could just literally be your board, and you like the baddest thing in the world. You fear no monster, Dragoon, DPE. I do not care. Everything gets tributed. Tribute is the fastest mechanic in the game. And if I use your monster as a tribute cost, there's no, like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna already tribute your monster before your droplet, your Vila, anything activate, and it doesn't really matter. Even if this monster effect is negated, it can still activate its effect. Cost is still needed. And when we get to the trap card, you guys gonna understand a little more about how deadly this card is. How terrifying. That's why I think this card just might be one of the best cards in the game. Yes, on its own, it's nothing. But in conjunction with other cards, and this is how it works, man. Once you can revolve the deck around this, and which the deck literally revolves around this, but you know, you don't want to depend only on this card, so we're gonna see some more flexiness coming soon. Alright, yeah, of course. A must have the one copy of Terraforming. It's so you're literally playing 4 copies of this. So we do have now. So I guess we can count it like 7 copies. So we are playing the Arima, which is free copies. We are playing the Terraforming and the free copies of Lair of Darkness. So guys, getting Lair of Darkness in your hand is the main priority of this deck. Now this is why I was so excited when we got the reprint of Pot of Extra. 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. This deck does not really care about the extra deck. And when we read through the extra deck, you are gonna see what I mean by it does not really care about the extra deck. Because we just want field control. The extra deck, yes, does come in handy, and then you will see why. It definitely comes in this format of all these fusion monsters. Oh my goodness. Okay, breathe. I'm breathing. The excitement, guys. The excitement. Can you sense it? All right, then we are gonna play 3 copies of Pot of Duality, guys. The draw power, guys. There's no way when you're opening our Lair of that. It's quite rare. Your first hand, you don't go reach into the Lair of Darkness because there's so many ways of deck finning this deck. Such, oh my. Lair of Darkness doesn't really matter. In most turns, you won't special charm and do in your first turn. You will, maybe during your opponent's turn or the second phase, but most turns, all you want to do is set up. You just want to set up your board, scare your opponent, force them to rage quit when you are going to just laugh it out because this deck is a rage quit master. And last with the spell cards, guys, we play 3 copies of Super Poly. Like I said, the extra deck is not all that important, but sometimes when you do go second, in the format now, all the top decks will have either dark monsters in the field or at least a fusion monster. And man, let me just say, you're like, goodness. Lair of Darkness turns all monsters dark, so whether or not your opponent does have a dark monster in the field, Lair of Darkness is going to give you option. The Lair of Darkness makes like this deck is built around Lair of Darkness, still works without Lair of Darkness. You have to put it out there because we do not want the entire deck to be focused on this. but the majority of it is. It's just unfortunate. But it works. This is why this card is so scary. And like Super Poly, alright, we're gonna see how scary Super Poly is later, guys, when we reach into the extra deck. Now, guys, we are gonna jump into the trap cards. The 3 copies of Skill Drain, guys. Skill Drain. This is why this deck is beyond. It's just cancer, because Lair of Darkness itself is a headache. But when you turn off your opponent's effects and then you be tributing them monsters, it just, like, deck tables will be flipping. Guys, you have to be aware, guys. You guys are going to need some form of security after these local matches, because your opponent is going to be salty as hell. Guys, Skill Drain works perfectly in this deck, because with Lilith, tribute is a cost, which we have to pay the cost. Lilith under Skill Drain, when after tributing your monster, will not get the effect. You will not get the effect to set your trap cards. But then again, we have already ridden the board of a threat. Lilith will be at full 2000 attack points, and we are distributing of our opponent's monster. It doesn't really matter. But what's so great about Skill Drain also, guys? Skill Drain negates the monster effect on the field. Kind of works a little different than Imperm effect Villa. If Lilith is to tribute itself, goes to the graveyard, my effect resolve. I do get to set a trap card. So you see, guys, it's a plus with Skill Drain. And if you're playing this deck, this is a must, guys. This is a must, because your opponent now already has a headache with Lair of Darkness and now have to deal with Skill Drain. Oh my God, guys, what's going on? This deck is just so irritating. That's why it's called cancer. It is called cancer. Let's move on. Next on the trap cards, like, we play 3 copies of Solemn Judgment, or like we'd call him, Bab Sal, Dirty Beard. Guys, Solemn Judgment is just what you need, because sometimes you just fear that the opponent has that Harpies, that Lightning Storm, that Evenly Match. This card always comes in clutch. This is its duty. If it doesn't come, we can use it for something else. But I'm playing this specifically to protect my back row or Lair of Darkness. This card is spicy. Half the life points does not matter, because protecting our back row and Lair of Darkness is key. Once Lair of Darkness is in the field, guys, we've already won 70% of the duel. Just play the duel good and we have already won it. Now, what's scarier about this deck? Everything is scary about this deck. We play the viruses, guys. Viruses Eradicator. What do you call trap card? Magic? Oh my goodness. Once you have an idea of what your opponent plays, you know what to call. If there's continuous cards on the field, you know what to call. If you've already virused your opponent earlier on and you see they draw into specific cards because now you don't have access to their hands, you know what to call. Man, this card is so good. In this format now, you call spells. A lot of people are folding. A lot of spells. Oh my god. But you know, alright, let's say the deck is more of a monster deck, right? We are playing also 2 copies of deck Devastation Virus. Any monster with 1,500 or 1,500 or more attack sent to the graveyard. Your opponent next 3 draws, any monster within the stat range are sent to the graveyard. Hand traps. All of the ghost hand traps. Ghost Ogre, Ghost Bell, everybody is hitting. Effect Villa, everybody. Draw, everybody's hitting the graveyard, guys. This card changes lives. Now guys, what's great about deck Devastation Virus is that it can also be used on Lilith. Either you got a Skill Drain Lilith, or if Lilith is face down. Because if Lilith is face down, you can activate deck Devastation Virus to use Lilith as a cost and get rid of your opponent's 150 and 500 attack monsters. So this is just so good. Plus. Do we have a math teacher in the comment section? We are person like, whoa. Next virus card on the list, guys, we are playing 2 copies of Full Force Virus. Remember when I spoke about Token Collector earlier on? Yeah, Token Collector, and Token Collector being our substitute to Alice. Alice also has 2,000 defense, guys. So you definitely need to have your Alice. But Full Force Virus is for the defensive aspect monsters. Monsters with 1/5, 1500 or less attack defense. So even cards like Nibiru is most of the hand traps. See, the virus cards deal with most of the hand traps. Whether those with more attack or those with less defense, we are dealing with everybody, guys. After this, we play 2 copies of Finn Griffin. Man, Finn Griffin is the reason we are playing Scam. Right? The opponent's turn or during our turn, we are going to send one of the monsters back into the deck and we are going to send Scam to our graveyard. Now, when Scam is sent to the graveyard during the end phase, Scam allows us to search, and this is where we get our spicy search to our Lilith. And if you have Alice, you search for Aleph, which is all good. But this card is super spicy. Next on the list, guys, we are playing 2 copies of Gozen Match. Like I said earlier, this is one of the floodgates that works so well with Lair of Darkness. Because the moment your opponent has 1 monster in the field or summons a monster, you activate this under Gozen, you activate this under Lair of Darkness. If your opponent does not have any other dark monsters to special summon or summon, they are pretty much locked on the field. It's a little like Zombie World and Rivalry. So it's like a cheaper version of it. Not as effective, but trust me, it works. It works so good. Now this card is the reason why I don't main deck Token Collector, because there is some form of conflict. Because if I do have a token or dark monster in the field, Token Collector effect will not activate. I will not be able to special summon it to the field because it's an Earth type in my hand and in the graveyard, unfortunately. So this is my reason why I'm playing Alice. Well, Alice is a definite must, but it still works in the absence of Alice. Next for the trap card, guys, I play 2 copies of Call to the Back. It's a searchable Call of the Hunted. Why not? Yeah, it brings a monster in defense mode, but doesn't really matter, especially if most of the time you are gonna bring back your bad boy, your bad girl, which is a quick effect tribute. And also when it comes to the field, it does have 2000 attack points, which makes it perfect for our deck devastation virus, right? Also, the spicy loop here with back to the front is also with our Diablos. So what you do with Lilith, you'd actually activate Lilith's effect to search, hopefully to set a back to the front. This guy is gonna special summon either from the graveyard or your hand onto the field. During your opponent's turn, if you do have one of your virus cards, you are gonna tribute this virus to your opponent. During the end phase, bring Lilith on the field, activate Lilith's effect again to set maybe one of your other virus cards. This is gonna special summon from the field during the end phase. Now you're gonna have a token on the field because of Lair of Darkness, and yes, this is pretty much how the loop goes. So you can double virus your opponent and rip cards from their hand just because of back to the front, because it's gonna cause this loop, lift to this guy, lift to this guy, over and over, which is very flexy. And the last trap card I play is Trap, 1 copy of Trap Tricks. Now, if you may have noticed, most of the trap cards, the normal trap cards, are at 2. So when I choose to add Lilith's effect, just to ensure that I definitely get one of the cards, because if you play free, you can just go for free cards. But with Lilith, what you can do, you can either search 1, 2, and the 3rd trap card being your Trap Tricks. So it doesn't matter what the opponent select, will still be considered one of these cards. Because if I happen to get the Trap Trick, I'm just gonna banish 1, go into this card, so in the end I'm still gonna definitely get the card I want. So this is the reason why I'm playing 1 Trap Trick, or playing Trap Trick itself in the deck and playing everybody at 2. It allows me to have some more space and allow me to do so much more instead of having free and maybe chances of drawing into a brick, which you really don't want to see any of the normal trap cards without the field spell. Now let's dive into the extra deck. The extra deck is straightforward, very simple, because since we're playing Extravagance, chances are you're gonna banish a multiple of your monsters. So what I did, I just played 3 copies of everything. Now it's a dark deck, you are gonna have dark monsters in the field, your opponent monsters are gonna be dark under lair, so there's no way you're gonna play 3 copies of Starving Venom. This is a must, and this card in itself is just so good. It's a big plus to all the viruses, to your opponent. It does have the off-field nuke effect. Like, man, this card is, and especially now everybody is playing all the fusion cards, DP, everything, everybody. Super Poly is just fantastic this format. And this card under layer, even without layer, you're gonna pull your Starving Venom super easy. Now, here's another top guy, the Predator Plant big guy. That's what I'm calling because I am trying to butcher this guy's name. Is also so good. All you need is a Dark Monster and a fusion. Guys, as I said, Super Poly is super flexy in this format. Everybody's ending on DPE or Dragoon or some crap. And you know, nobody can respond to Super Poly. And like I said, under everything, everybody is that. So back's gonna be broken, guys. You're gonna need a protractor. You're gonna need somebody to help. And when I'm playing, I'm also playing, well, this is supposed to be 3 copies of Mud Dragon. For some reason, I just can't seem to find my 3rd copy of Mud Dragon. Under layer, all monsters are dark. Once they have a different type, you are all good. Now, what's great about this, if this, after you Super Poly your opponent and you do summon Lilith, even if, yeah, Impermanent Ash will not really hurt Lilith because you still are going to either tribute yourself or you have, by right time, already tribute your opponent's monster. But if this guy is on the field after you Super Poly, your Lilith is all good because under Lair of Darkness, this is a dark. Lilith is already a dark. Automatically, this guy protects Lilith from being targeted. So no Imperm, no Ash, no Fogblade, any of these things. You are unable to attack Lilith and Lilith will be like a god on the field. Next, with the fusion, I actually got this from a friend, and to my surprise, this card is so much more expensive than I thought it was. It's not necessarily, but it's a big plus if you have this. This is 3 dark monsters on the field. Guys, under Lair of Darkness, everything is dark. Backs are getting broken. But this is like 30 bucks. I like on this channel, I never would suggest you guys buy any cards of this price, especially if it's not splashable in multiple other decks. But if you do, like so happened, my friend of mine had one. He felt it was necessary to borrow it. So I do have 3 decks, really good. If you have multiple, all the best. All the best. Man, when this, you want to play 3 copies of that because, like I said, guys, in the extra deck, you want to be playing your pot of extra. Chances are you are going to banish this card. You do not want 1. You want to run at least 3. Unfortunately, I do have only 1, but you want to run 3 of this card. 3. Most of the cards you want to run 3 of them because they're just Super Poly targets, and just a few of them are links. That and also the beat cup. Yeah, this it does have a nice effect. It does have a tribute effect where you can literally tribute your opponent monster and put a token in Lair of Darkness to keep Lair of Darkness protected. Like, so this is very good. So it's like you know, you can at least have two of this, or if you want, you can have 2 of this and 2 of this one also. But you just want to be certain that whenever you play your extra, a copy is left behind for later in the duel. Now, also, just to just finish up the extra deck, based on what I have, unfortunately I don't have much cards. I just added the Nightmare package just in case, but this, I personally would rather have multiples of these cards because I don't intend to go into my extra deck, but these can actually come in clutch. You guys play test the deck, give it a try and see how it works. If you guys enjoyed this deck profile or got any value, kick that like button and share with a friend. If you already missed this deck in action, check out this video right here. Oh, the link is in the description. See you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.